Shiplap joints. I've seen a few videos of how to make them on either a router table or on a table saw with a dado stack in it. But I'm going to show you my way, and I think that's one of the easiest possible ways. And to demonstrate it, I will make a hatch for a shed with these old planks. But first, let's take a look at what a shiplap joint actually is. Here's a sketch of the hatch I'm going to make. And to make sure wind can't blow through the gaps between the planks, it's very good to use the shiplap joint. Here's the cross section of the hatch, and as you can see, the shiplap joint isn't as much a proper joint as just a shape that creates an overlap, really. Like that. One plank here and one plank there. There's no way wind can blow through that. And this is something I have used for many doors for sheds and barns and our chicken house. It's a very nice and convenient way to make a good looking door or hatch pretty quickly. That's also quite weatherproof. The way I usually cut a shiplap joint is on the table saw, but with the regular blade and not with a dado stack. That's not allowed in my part of the world anyway. I don't even think I can buy a table saw that I can fit a dado stack to here. But that's just as well, because then I don't have to switch between the two. Using that method, you need to plan the cut so you take away as much on the thickness as of the width, because then you don't have to reset the fence or the blade, whether you are cutting with a plank laying flat or standing on its end. And that makes it really quick to cut. The thickness of the planks I'm using is 22 millimeters, so I'm setting the height of the blade to half of that, which is 11, of course. And the distance from the fence to the outside of the blade should be the same. And that creates a rebate in the wood that's 11 by 11 millimeters. And now I can run the planks laying flat on the table or standing up against the fence. No adjustments to the fence or the blade will be necessary. These planks are reasonably flat and straight without any cup. If that's not the case, you have to run them through a jointer planer first. I think these will be okay just as they are. And I want to keep the paint, because that's the same paint with the same wear as on the rest of the shed, so it will look really good leaving this. And that's how it works. Not that difficult, is it? One thing you have to keep in mind though, so you don't mess up the cuts, that's when you have done the cut with the plank laying on the flat side, you can't flip it up like that against the fence, because then you get the cut in the wrong place. You have to turn the side you will cut away the strip from, so it faces the fence. And then the cut is all right. I forgot to cut the planks to the right width before I started. I'll just do that really quickly. And it's that simple. You just have to keep in mind which planks go on the outside, so you don't cut two rabbits on them as well, but leave the outer edges. And yeah, now I'm just gonna make some rails and a cross brace, and then the hatch is more or less finished. There is the hatch with the shiplap joints finished. And no wind can blow between these boards. Next step is to take it to the shed and hang it. The hinges will go on this side. That's where the cross brace starts on the bottom rail on the hinge side and goes up like that, otherwise the hatch can sag. I get furious when I see people putting it in the wrong direction. Also, you need to make these notches in the rails for it, otherwise it will slip over time and it still will sag. It's pretty symmetrical, so I marked which side goes up. Good idea, I suppose. I'll have to adapt it a bit when I get to the shed, because the small door opening it will fit into isn't square. It's on the gable, small doorway up to the loft, so it has a shape like this. It's the worst sketch I've ever made, I think, but yeah. So I cut off the corners so it will follow the shape of the rafters. But as far as the main construction, it's done. Now, go and make one yourself. Vill du ha din höna?